not reading and I'm also not teaching. I'm just summarizing the book Alone, Growing Up in Alexandra, Book One. I'm doing the final summary because I will not be reading from it again until the new year when I start reading Book Two, Alone, From Hustling to Healing, Book Two. And with the previous video, I was completing chapter 9, where I was going bankrupt and losing everything, fighting with lawyers, and eventually, losing everything that I ever owned. So I thought I would read chapter 10. But as I'm going through the pages, I realized that if I read, it's going to pull on another thread and another thread, and we might just be here for the rest of the year. And I really don't want us to do that. I want to get back to teaching because numbers don't lie. I see you guys prefer me as a teacher, prefer me to do these concepts that I love so much as well. I just needed to honor the fact that this is how I started my YouTube channel. So in my very first episode, I was sharing that I will be reading from my memoir and we'll see how it goes. I did say that I don't know how it will go, but I think it went really, really well. A lot of my own healing happened. Reading this memoir and sharing and reflecting was like when a cow, a cow eats the grass during the day, and then in the evening, it brings it all back and it chews it again. It's like it's chewing and then it swallows it again and redigests it. So reading of my memoir here on YouTube felt kind of metaphorically that was like that. It's like everything that I've written, everything that I've been through in my 20s and and early 30s. Now as a 49-year-old woman, I'm taking it all up back and I'm chewing it. I mean, you will recall there were moments where I'll choke up as I read here with you. There were moments where I just did not expect to respond or to feel the way I felt. I did also share with you in one of the episodes that sometimes I'd finish reading, finish recording, and get myself a good cry. And for me, this exercise that I've done of reading from my book was just a release, a final release to say that chapter is done, that was then, and this is now. And now I want to step fully into the teaching mode and sharing with you. In as much as I will read from book 2 next year, I will not do it in this manner. So I will basically just visit certain chapters or certain passages for teaching purposes, not necessarily for reliving it, because I think I don't want to do that with book 2. Book 2 was strictly about my entrepreneurial journey post the fall of Exquisite Interiors. So it's very deeper. So it talks more about the dynamics of being a Black female entrepreneur in South Africa as opposed to my personal story. In as much as my personal story is very much there for those of you who've read book 2. But you find that part 2 of the book is painting the picture of what it's like to be a South African entrepreneur. And those are the chapters I want to touch on. And then part 3 of the book, book 2, is really about how is it that I became a life coach, which I'm going to do as probably a video on its own. Maybe I should do that for the next video, talk about how is it that I find myself here? Why am I a life coach and a teacher and do the things that I'm doing right now? So yeah, I'm not going to be reading. Rather, I want to say that after the visit, you'll have to watch the previous video, which it's not getting a lot of love. I don't know if it's the titles or the thumbnails, but personally, I don't like clickbaity thumbnails. I want people to just follow because they resonate. I'm very complicated when it comes to spaces like YouTube, because here on YouTube, you have to put a thumbnail that says, I went broke, it has to be like in your face for people to click, but then you get the wrong people, you see? Then you get the wrong people. But this previous video, the one where I don't know what the title is because I remember we had to change it, but it's not getting love. It's not getting love. But that is the story and the game of YouTube. YouTube is probably the most humbling social media space that I've ever been in. It has taken me so long to get to 100, and we are still not even at 200. And I'm unfairly comparing it to TikTok, because on TikTok, within the first 2 weeks of me posting my teaching content, I was already sitting on 2,000, 3,000 followers. And I don't even care very much about TikTok. It's just not my vibe. I don't like it. It gives me a lot of anxiety. So I just post and disappear and then post and disappear. I'm not taking care of it. It's similar to LinkedIn. I couldn't care less about LinkedIn. Honestly, I don't care who says what. LinkedIn for me, it's the pits. But I know professionals and people who are in business and people who are climbing the corporate ladder love LinkedIn. So I thought YouTube would be the same, where it won't take me too long to get to 1,000 subscribers. But girl, oh my God, oh my God, I am not even on 200 subscribers yet. But then that also helps because then it made me realize okay, this is a real marathon. This is a real marathon. So are you sure you want to be here? And the answer is a resounding yes, which means I might just have to say goodbye to my favorite social media, which is Facebook, but maybe next year, and just fully commit to YouTube. Right now, I'm trying to get my Facebookers to come this side, and I know it's a futile exercise because Facebookers love Facebook. Instagrammers love Instagram. TikTokers love TikTok. YouTubers, of which I am one of them, we love YouTube. We love long form content. We love learning. We love to teach. Yeah, I don't think a lot of us watch shorts as well. You know, the YouTube shorts, not so much. I'm here for the long content and I am a deliverer of long content. So, to summarize their book, so that I don't continue reading it, I did lose everything. You know, Mr. Du Plessis, if you were to listen to the previous video, Mr. Du Plessis was right. Upset did come for their house. My house was auctioned off at the end of 2006, November 2006. You know, the house was auctioned off. And from there, all hell broke loose. I had to quickly move to Midrand, didn't stay long in Midrand, and eventually ended up moving back home in Alex and having to face the dynamics with me and my father. You will recall in the first chapter of the book, I speak about how I had returned home and I was fighting with my father, and eventually my father had, won. It's his house. I got a job and I ended up living alone in Boksburg. So, and all these recollection, everything that I wrote on this book, I've written it because I was living alone and it was bubbling up. And this is the beauty of living alone, of finding yourself alone for a while. Because I lived alone from 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. I was living alone, visiting my children. My children would visit me every weekend, or I would go home as often as I could. You know, there was no distance between me and my children those times. The only thing was that I would be alone at night. I would be sleeping alone. I was not dating at all. I mean, I think I only started dating again around end of 2010, 2011. Yes, 2011. A guy comes to mind. I remember the guy that I was seeing in 2011. Very cute guy. Single, and yes, that one, single and celibate. Something I'll talk about maybe in one of my teachings, the benefits of being consciously celibate. Because I remember someone saying, were you celibate or were you single? Yeah, consciously celibate. The Lebu Pule that is talking now, the Lebu who is the teacher, who is into the healing space, who is a life coach, I believe was birthed when I was living alone in Boksburg. So yeah, guys, there are benefits of living alone. If you can live alone, please consider it and see what comes up, see who you become, because there is a lot of power there. And after being alone, all those years, all that 2, maybe 3 years, the way I approach relationships and the way I approach men and the way I approach sexuality, completely different. And those are the things I will be teaching, as we continue with this YouTube channel. So just to wrap this little video up, because I had to show up and I didn't want to just show up in teaching. I needed to just let you know that I'm not going to read chapter 10 and I will not be reading again until the new year. I'll be teaching. There's a lot of themes that I have in mind. I will also touch on not pop culture per se, but what's happening in the society. Like if there's something that's relevant that happened that I feel I want to touch on, I will. Relationship spaces are spaces that I know a lot of South Africans. I don't want to say South African women. I think both men and women. It's the thing that we are very much into. It's a thing that you like. So I want to tap in on that. What are relationships for? relationships of the 21st century. And I will also pick on what everyone is watching. For an example, right now, everyone is into Married at First Sight. And as a teacher, as a life coach, I mean, that is content galore for me. I'm learning a lot. I'm seeing a lot. And Married at First Sight was a show that I immediately liked when I saw the origin. I think it's originally from Australia. It could be London. I'm not sure. But I saw it for the first time in one of the BBC channels back when I had DSTV a few years back. So it is, in case you didn't know, sorry to bust your bubble, it's not a South African concept. When I remember loving it and I'm thinking, hey, maybe that's how relationships should be approached. Maybe not marry at first sight, but be connected with a stranger and you get to trial a relationship with someone that experts have chosen for you. So yeah, we'll see what I bring. I'll mix it up. We'll go deep, we'll go shallow, we'll go medium. We'll see how it goes. But please like and subscribe if you have not liked and subscribed. Do share the video with other people, with your friends. Do let your friends know, like all of you who are here, all 156, 58 of you, I know you have one friend. Please ask one friend to just subscribe. Even if they don't follow, they subscribe and leave just to push my numbers a little bit, just to boost these numbers. I need it. I need, I need it before my morale goes down. That would be awesome if you could do that. If you could let your friends just subscribe to my channel, even if they leave, even if they don't watch, they can just subscribe to boost the numbers, because the more numbers I have, the more YouTube shares the video with other. It spreads it wider and wider and wider. So when the numbers are still small, the algorithms think, it has no value, or I buy right, they buy too. But the more people subscribe, the more you like. If you could just like every time you watch, just like, that also just helps with the algorithms to push and bump it up a little bit. I mean, I don't know how many numbers I'm going to eventually get, but I'm here for the long haul. I'm here for a while. I'm here for a while. Yeah. Okay. So I will see you with the next teaching. I'll come in October. So this is month end of September, 2025. I will come in very, very early in October with a theme, a beautiful teaching theme, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for your comments. Those who comment, keep them coming. Let's see how far this, YouTube journey takes me. And I will commit, especially next year. I don't think I'll be in other apps. I will fully commit to YouTube and to my students at Patreon and to the retreats and to the coaching. Everything else can wait. Focus it on this. Okay. I'll see you in the next video. This is my story. I cannot wait to hear yours.